This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the 2016 Atlantic hurricane season is here, and forecasters expect an active season with 10 to 16 named storms. 4 to 8 may be hurricanes, 1 to 4 can become major hurricanes. This year's season comes as many residents of the southern islands are still recovering from a devastating blow dealt by Hurricane Joaquin last October. Hurricane Alex, a rare January storm, is being counted as the first storm of the season. Tropical Storm Bonnie, that made landfall in South Carolina on Saturday, is the second named storm of this season. Let's take a look at some of the other names to be used this season. They include Colin, Danielle, Earl, Fiona, Gaston, Hermaine, and Igor. Now local officials say residents should begin preparations as preparedness is key. As the country braces for the Atlantic hurricane season, the government is moving to address critical concerns in the various coastal communities. The Minister of Public Works says when it comes to the construction of seawalls and other infrastructural improvements, budgetary allocations are significant. Joan Davis-Rowe reports.
The Bahamas is known for its sun, sand, and sea. It is these natural elements that are often challenged by Mother Nature, especially during the time of hurricane. It is a concern for residents living in coastal communities and also for the Deputy Prime Minister.
We as Bahamians, though we are all disparate and we are separated by water, we are still one.
Far-flung coastal communities like Sweetings Key are oftentimes hardest hit when it comes to hurricanes. Evacuations are commonplace in the time of storm. Mother Nature is known to leave a trail of destruction through raging seas, torrential rain, and flooding. Hence the concern regarding seawalls and the lack thereof in some of these flood-prone areas. It is one of the many issues, including the structural integrity and the repairs of area homes, that the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Urban Development, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, together with the Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Michelle Reckley, are working to address. The Deputy Prime Minister, while on Grand Bahama recently, spoke with ZNS News about these and other concerns.
In respect to the east end of the island, particularly on Sweetings Key, they need some seawalls and some dock repairs, which I noticed, and they also showed me the administration building that requires some renovations. So I've taken them into account, and hopefully when I'm back I'll have engineers come to assess and scope the works for that and attempt to have those remedied in short order.
Shifting his attention, the Deputy Prime Minister commented on the badly needed seawall in another coastal community on Grand Bahama.
Update on the seawall for Smith's Point. The Cabinet has already approved the award of a contract for that purpose, and that contract has been selected, and there's a tweak, well, not a tweak, but they will be sitting down with that contractor, and very shortly a contract will be awarded for the seawall at Smith's Point.
Joan Davis-Rowe, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Joan. Each hurricane season brings its share of frustration for residents of West Grand Bahama. The Fishing Hole Road, the only thoroughfare into and out of that district, is often flooded, leaving residents cut off from Freeport. But there is good news. Preliminary work is underway for a bridge at the Fishing Hole Road that is expected to resolve the age-old flooding problem in that area. President of All Bahamas Construction Company Wolfgang Geiger says work on the multi-million-dollar Fishing Hole Road Bridge is progressing.
We have completed, I would say, 90% of our engineering work, and we have started to set up the construction site and prepare our pre-stress facility to build the 288 pre-stressed concrete slabs for the bridge deck. Also, we have set up an area where we will start soon to produce our 40 concrete beams, which will sit on top of our pre-stressed concrete piles to support the bridge superstructure.
According to Geiger, the mega project is still on budget at around $6.5 million and is expected to be completed by the end of February next year.
Crossing over the entire Hawksbill Creek, the bridge is 900 feet long, and will secure a safe passage shortly before and shortly after a major hurricane. We're importing, of course, all the rebars, street lights, main water line, because also we will replace the existing cast iron main water line from Freeport to 8 Mile Rock through a new line which will sit on the bridge and also in the apartments on both sides of the bridge.
He says this massive development is providing much needed employment for Bahamians.
This crew was also a part of the other bridge that we have just finished, the Lucayan Waterway Bridge. And if we have all the drawings approved by the building department, we will upgrade the staff to approximately 40-50 people to get this project done as quick as possible.
The first round of voting now complete ahead of the set June 7th referendum. Some 671 Bahamians were eligible to vote in the advance poll here on Grand Bahama, but around 50% of persons actually voted. Yesterday's poll had its share of controversy over what an official is calling human error. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
In my voter's card, the date was also incorrectly stamped. And there is no way I'm going to allow myself to be disenfranchised.
Some residents voting in Tuesday's advance poll noticed a major discrepancy on their voter's card after they cast their votes. Instead of being stamped May 31st, 2016, the stamp was dated May 31st, 2013. A voice note circulated Tuesday suggested it was a deliberate attempt to spoil the ballots of those who voted no, an accusation Acting Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner Reno Smith denies.
This human error will in no way disenfranchise any voter, and the government of the Bahamas, via the Parliamentary Registration Department, was not trying to do anything untoward.
Smith says the incident happened at 2 of 5 polling stations, East Grand Bahama and Pine Ridge. He says it was caused by presiding officers who were either distracted or made a mistake in changing the complete date on the stamps. He assures it does not affect the legitimacy of the ballot.
It should be noted that most people did not use the voters' cards. Most persons use other government-issued IDs like the passport or driver's license, or even the new Smart I National Insurance Card.
313 eligible people voted in the advanced poll, and Smith says they will all be counted.
My vote will be counted, and since my vote will be counted, everybody else's vote will be counted.
Smith says once made aware of the issue, the date on each stamp was corrected, and they have also changed the dates on the stamps to be used for the June 7th votes. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
The gender equality referendum is less than a week away, and the Say Yes campaign is getting the support of a noted human rights activist. Italia Hall tells us more.
Women in the Bahamas are entitled to be treated equally to men. It's only fair, it's only just, it's the right thing to do.
Several attorneys and Say Yes supporters coming together to state their positions on the 4 gender equality bills. Attorney Fred Smith QC says he feels that this referendum is very simple and is all about making women equal to men.
This Constitution came into effect in 1973. And unfortunately, it had errors, it had omissions, it had mistakes in it. It did not make women equal to men in so many ways. And it has affected women and men's families, their children, their nieces, their nephews.
Lawyer Constance MacDonald says voters must not be confused by the noise in the market, but should stand together to end discrimination against women.
You cannot take Bill number 4 out of the context of the article that is being amended. And for those persons who are saying that we don't have to amend the Constitution, that the government can do it in the Nationality Act, in my opinion, that is not correct. And I'll tell you why. Because the Constitution itself says that I am the supreme law of the Bahamas, and any law that is inconsistent with me is void to the extent of the inconsistency.
Attorney Smith, who is also a human rights activist, says it is important to point out that this referendum has nothing to do with politics.
I have criticized the PLP and lambasted them from here to eternity over these decades. I've done the same to the FNM when they're in power. But today I stand shoulder to shoulder with this PLP government and all the FNMs that voted yes in Parliament for these 4 bills.
The lawyers are encouraging all Bahamians to read the bills for themselves and go out and vote yes on our 4 bills on June 7th. It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news after this.